Oh man, I hate Mondays.
Nah, man, it's Tuesday.
Wait. What day is it?
You know what day it is? Tuesday. Brewsday Tuesday.
Oh, fuck yeah. Grab a cold one. It's Brewsday Tuesday, brought to you by the Cellar and Six Pack Store. Here's DreZ and Big Nate.
Brewsday Tuesday, indeedy. It is brought to you by the Cellar Restaurant and Six Pack Store in downtown Blacksburg, which is where I found not one but two French toast stouts. And I figured, well, I don't know if I'll be able to find four French toast stouts, but even two is pretty awesome. So let's go ahead and try these bad boys. So I just popped. It's apparently a limited series from Abita. Their French toast stout, as mentioned, is 8%, so a pretty hearty one at that. And it says right here on the back, with all natural flavors, creamy notes of maple syrup, as one would expect, cinnamon, vanilla, and nutmeg. This stout will have you craving breakfast for dinner. A decadent brew inspired by a morning favorite. Our French toast stout has a smooth and subtle sweetness, perfect for any time of the day, which I'd say 6 o'clock on a Tuesday. That sounds perfect.
That's any time is breakfast time. I've learned at the Waffle House at like 3 a.m. after a show. That's breakfast time.
Well, I guess I've just always been a fan of breakfast, and my favorite meals when I was a kid was when we would do like breakfast for dinner. And I think that's carried on. I am always the one that cooks breakfast in my household. Like I've always had just sort of the knack and passion for breakfast dishes.
Breakfast is my favorite food, but it's easily the one I eat the least. Because like during the week you get busy. I'm trying to wrangle 2 toddlers, get out the door and get to work. So black coffee and maybe a hard-boiled egg. But like on the weekends, it's 10 a.m. You crack a beer, you make your eggs, you make your French toast, you make your bacon, you make your biscuits, and gravy if you're feeling particularly unhealthy but delicious. And I've just, it's always kind of been my thing. I always used to joke, and kind of I guess I still do, if I wasn't doing this, I would open a restaurant similar to the pancake joint everyone knows and loves, but I was going to call it IHO because I'm pretty sure I can make eggs any way possible.
So okay, I was like, okay, how are we spelling this? All right, there you go, eggs. All right. And yours is also French toast.
Yes,
but,
it is also French toast. It is the Left Hand Brewing French Toast Milk Stout. And apparently, when you're thinking French toast, you think a similar font because there was a moment here off air, and if you're watching on video, you can see it. There's a little difference, but I was kind of catching the curlies out of the side there. But
yeah, if you watch it on Facebook Live or YouTube, we just showed the labels. And at the very beginning, maybe even off air, you could have seen me mouth it because he was just like, wait a minute, do we have the same beer? Because for a split second, it did almost seem like it was amazingly how similar those fonts are. I don't know if that's maybe, well, I guess when it comes to French toast,
I'm thinking, you know what it is? It's Friendlies.
Is that they're
thinking Friendlies?
I don't think Friendlies in French toast, but maybe. You're
outside
right. That is
outside of the ice cream. They do breakfast.
I mean, you do got the FR there. Maybe it is Friendly's font.
I'll have to do some logo research.
I don't think it is. Now that let's look at the Friendly's logo.
This is a brunch-inspired brew with notes of maple syrup, vanilla, and rich caramel malt, which is perfect for a stout. And 6 point.
I think Friendly's is a stretch.
ABV.
They have a bigger curl on the F. I don't think it's Friendly's. It's something else that might be. I mean, what else is French? I can't even. Short of like Cinnamon Toast Crunch is the closest thing that to me is well-known French toast regarded. Like when I think of French toast, it's just mom making French toast. I don't even know of a store-bought French toast or anything like that.
I'm gonna have to do some digging and find something. I'm sure something exists, but the fact that they landed on similar fonts just maybe that sweeping F makes you think of breakfast.
I don't know. But you're right. I'm in the same boat. I mean, the regular day-to-day, Monday through Friday, I usually end up just having like kind of like a protein shake for breakfast essentially. But once that Sunday rolls around, that's usually the day that we do something. You know, we'll do like a breakfast wreath, or this past Sunday we did brunch over at my folks' place because after the event, the March of Ales, we stayed in Blacksburg, and so we had mimosas, and Mom made 2 different breakfast pizzas, as she calls them, which were pretty phenomenal. That's a nice way to kind of get the day going, you know.
I have the utmost appreciation, and I mean, it's not even like it's a hard meal to make.
It's just
There's
nothing but
just
delicious.
something that, yeah, start your day absolutely right.
Bacon, egg, and cheese. Those are your basics. Get some kind of a carb in there, and you're good to go. I'm still very fond of the bacon, egg, and cheese bagel, which most recently
They brought it back.
Oh, well, I'm over that. I don't know if they brought it back and lowered the price, which I doubt is the case.
No.
So I haven't even tried to go back there. But we were going to do breakfast, and I asked Kirsty if she had a preference of what bagels. She's like, no, just get whatever. So I come back with cinnamon raisin bagels. She's like, because I was going to make a bacon, egg, and cheese bagel. I was like, no, trust me. This is good. This is just fine. A bacon, egg, and cheese bagel on a cinnamon raisin. And yeah, give it a shot if you never have, man. I'm a big fan of the salty sweet and savory. I love that. I can do that all day.
See, I'm also someone who throws like hot sauce on everything I have at breakfast.
I don't know if I put hot sauce
So
on
I would not
that
put that
one.
on a cinnamon
No,
raisin.
probably
bagel.
not on that one.
Cheese, sure,
Cheese, absolutely.
but cinnamon raisin, that's a bridge too far. I'm a big fan, and I discovered it recently. Hollandaise sauce. I mean, granted, that was what they were claiming was on the bacon, egg, and cheese bagel that you and I both. But yeah, they call that a hollandaise. It should not be bright yellow.
Yeah, I always thought it was just like a garlic butter kind of a thing.
No, that's a hollandaise,
Oh, okay.
according to them.
I would more often than not, when I remembered, I would ask for no sauce because I was never a big fan of that. And more often than not, it would still be on there.
I like the sauce, but it's not a proper hollandaise. Like I finally just for the
Is
first
that a
time.
surprise?
No, not at all. But for the first time in my 30, how the hell ever old I am, 32-year existence on this earth, I had actual honest to God hollandaise sauce at back in February. We went to the Death Cab for Cutie show, and oh my God.
What
It's
did you
perfect for
have
breakfast.
it with? I mean,
Eggs Benedict, because I've often said, like, if the occasion strikes right and there's a place that has Eggs Benedict, I'm gonna try it. And we went into this like random diner right beside our hotel, and that was their daily special. Well, I'm going for it, and now that's my new favorite thing.
Yeah, eggs. Honestly, I was, and still maybe not a huge fan. I don't seek out Eggs Benedict, but the few times that I've come across it, if it's done well, it can be absolutely delicious. But again, it's not. It's just because it's a breakfast food. I can eat. I'm down for any type of breakfast food. Honestly, I'm trying to think of anything that people or places have for breakfast that I'd be like, no, thank you.
The biggest thing that held me back is that it's Canadian bacon, which is ham instead of actual bacon.
That's fine.
So I think if I start, we can make an eggs Big Nate, and it'll have hollandaise sauce, bacon, the English muffin, and the poached egg.
I don't remember if I brought this up on air or not, but when I was in Scotland most recently, we went to a place for brunch, and I ordered
A rasher of bacon?
No, well, rasher's like the standard. So FYI, bacon over there is almost sort of like country ham-ish. Like
Yep.
it's fantastic. It's awesome. And I saw that on the menu it said with Virginia bacon. And I was like, well, I gotta get a side of Virginia bacon. And then of course it came, and it's just regular bacon, what we would call bacon here.
Smithfield ham. Son of a bitch.
I don't know. I guess I
Could have
just
gotten that at home.
I guess I should have thought and realized that it would just be what I consider regular bacon. But for some reason, I was just like, "Oh, I got to get some of this to see what this might be." And yeah, it was.
And I mean, it
regular
was
bacon.
still delicious.
Yeah, of
Was
course.
it not?
It's
Yeah.
bacon. Bacon's pretty much the best food on earth.
Have you discovered? Because that was another thing I recently discovered. If you twist your bacon and then bake it in the oven on like one of those wire racks,
Twist it how?
Well, do you
like roll it up.
do you prefer your bacon crispy or chewy?
Usually a little chewy.
Oh, see, I love the crispy. Like I want the fat to melt in my mouth. So what I do is I take it kind of like a jump rope and just twirl it in both
Oh,
hands.
I see.
So it forms like a funnel almost. And then you throw it on the wire rack, bake it at 400 for like 15 minutes. Comes out perfectly crispy and evenly cooked.
Yeah, I've heard that is the way to do it, is do your bacon in the oven, especially if you're going to be multiple people.
Yeah.
If it's just you and you got like you're doing 3 or 4 slices of bacon, maybe just through the pan. But if you're going to have to do more than one go in a pan, apparently the oven's the way to go. I always forget that, but that is it. Also, much less cleanup too.
So much easier.
Yeah.
I will never go back to frying bacon in the pan. I might do it on the grill because I've got that big
You got the
flat
flat
iron.
Yeah, you got the flat iron.
Baking it perfect every weekend.
Well, I tell you what, man. Next time, so my mom always used to make French toast. I don't know. I'm trying to think if I've ever attempted it on my own. I mean, she makes it seem so easy and it's always so good, but it's not one that I generally attempt.
To me, that's so much like unnecessary carbs. Like if I'm starting my day, I want protein, a lot of protein. So the eggs, the bacon, those take center focus.
Well, you would do that with
but
the
French toast is like really easy to make.
Yeah.
But like everyone has their take on it. Like my father-in-law makes the best French toast I've ever had. And that's kind of like when we go to the beach for a week, there's one day set aside and he just makes French toast for like, it's supposed to be like breakfast. And if you don't get up early enough, well, you don't get breakfast. But he'll be making French toast from like 6 a.m. until noon. It's like that's 6 hours of making French toast. There's not that many people here.
Oh, well, if it's that good, then
Well, he does it early.
that's
So the
easy.
rest of the beach vacation, we're just eating recycled French toast.
There's nothing wrong with that. I do like French toast. Maybe it's one of those more underrated, I would say, breakfast items. It's one of those ones I might see it on a menu, but I don't get it.
Wouldn't order it,
It's
but-
just like lasagna. I don't know if I've ever ordered lasagna out at any restaurant ever, but it's always good. You never really have bad lasagna.
I think it falls in one of those categories where it's something that everyone can do, so you can easily replicate,
You just
and
like
improve, and if I'm going to a steakhouse for breakfast, I want their the T-bone and eggs. I don't
Steak and
want their
eggs, yeah.
French toast.
mhm.
So I think it's one of those things that's just so easily accessible at home. You avoid ordering it, but yeah, French toast is underappreciated.
Well, so is a solid stout, which I've come to realize that I've always said on this show, and I'm sure if you rewind a few years, listen to past episodes, even more so, but maybe I just need to convert and say, because I always usually preface with, I'm not a big stout or porter guy, but maybe I am now, because at this point I do just drink a good amount of these. But I think the caveat is it needs to be either sweet or barrel aged or something where it's got that higher ABV. I've found that is what lures me in and gets me excited and really enjoying these darker beers. Case in point, an 8% French toast stout from Abita, which we all know makes some delicious beers. This one is fantastic. I could definitely have it with breakfast if I wanted to. They're right. They hit the nail on the head. You can drink this anytime. It's nice and tasty. Just the right amount of sweetness. It's not beating you over the head with it. You do get the little bit of maple syrup flavor in there as well. And a great hearty ABV as well. I'd say it's the cornerstone to a balanced breakfast right here, maybe in a glass. I'm going to give it a 4. I'll give it a 4.5. This is, I would happily drink this one again.
Yeah. I like to imagine that maybe once in a while I'm a bad influence on you. So I love that you're like coming around to stouts. That's just perfectly fantastic.
Again, though, it's got to be those caveats.
Yeah.
That like a couple weeks ago when we just had that oatmeal stout, did not enjoy that whatsoever.
But there is a market. It's just like coffee. There's a market for people who like their sweet coffee drinks, their iced coffee drinks. So it's about finding that avenue that's exactly right for you. And I mean, I'm not a picky person. the reason I cut milk out of my coffee is due to lactose intolerance. So naturally, I'm drinking the French toast milk stout.
Oh, well, hopefully you
So,
didn't pour too much because I can
this'll-
definitely take the bulk of that if that's going to bother
This will
you.
be fun later. 6.0 ABV, which is
Okay.
reasonable, manageable. But I'm not getting a lot of the maple syrup. What I'm picking up most of is the vanilla and the caramel. This is delicious. I mean, and much like that, this would be perfect for breakfast. You know, I'm just imagining that like what's the painter you see in like dentist's office? Norman Rockwell.
Mm.
It's like a Norman Rockwell scene. You've got your eggs, your pancakes, your French toast, you've got coffee, and then you've got a nice milk stout hanging out with you. So given what I think this seasonal brew could be for breakfast, I'm going to go ahead. I don't want to give it a 5 because I think I could get more of that maple syrup out of them. 4.5.
4.5. That's same. I'm right there with you with these ones. French toast stouts, good to go. We're gonna go a little, maybe a little sweeter, maybe not even maybe, definitely a little higher in the ABV department. And again, more dark beers. And I do want to talk a little bit about the March of Ales this past weekend. That was fun. We were both there. And I think you even walked away with some of the bidding items over here. He was a sniper, a bidding sniper. So we'll talk a little bit about that fun event and maybe even walked away. I walked away with something that we're about to be drinking here in just a little bit too. So Brewsday Tuesday continues. We'll play a tune. We'll come back right here. 105.3 The Bear. Stick around.